All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to Nostalgia XT, a NXT retro review podcast. This time with NXT Takeover Rival. I'm Jack,
I'm Moss.
and today we have a great show going through NXT Takeover Rival for you. The first ever WWE match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, in addition to the first ever Fatal 4-Way 4 Horsewomen match. Moss, how are you doing today?
I am doing a lot better. I want to nip it in the bud and say I apologize to everyone for not being able to put out an episode last week. I died, but I'm
Yeah.
better now, so
But we
I'm
now
happy to be
have.
back. And
Oh, I was gonna say we have
yeah,
AI Moss that I've created in your
oh
death.
yeah, we wanted to keep it going, and
It,
the
it has all of
future is
their
here.
same opinions and likes me more. But
And if
yeah,
I don't, you lobotomize me.
well then we find another one. It's kind of like Ultron in the Avengers from a decade ago. Timely reference. Anyways, we have NXT Takeover Rival coming up for our review. But before we get into that, I have a addendum from our last show. So do you remember Takeover Our Evolution, end of the show, Sami Zayn getting hoisted high after he wins the match, and the whole locker room comes out, and also Pat Patterson?
Yeah,
And we were like, why the fuck is Pat Patterson there?
yeah.
I have a breaking explanation for this.
Okay.
According to a Neville interview, he said, and I quote, "Pat wasn't scheduled to come out at all. He happened to be backstage. He comes along occasionally in NXT and lends his advice to some of the younger guys. Apparently, watching the match, Pat wasn't meant to come out, but he just foxed his way through. He said he was going to jump the railings no matter what Triple H said." He just shook my
That's
hand and
really good.
congratulated me. And he told me he enjoyed the match, which, coming from someone like Pat, is huge. It was surreal. Someone like Pat giving you the nod is unbelievable. So, yeah, Pat Patterson just was like,
That that
fuck it, I like that shit.
that makes it even better knowing that he wasn't supposed to come out and being like in the adrenaline like come down of ending that match and looking up and seeing Pat Patterson.
Yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
pretty fucking incredible. So yeah, that's just a little our evolution epilogue kind of note. Now
Okay.
I want to get into something else before we get into NXT Takeover Rival. This NXT Takeover Rival show takes place in 2015, which means we have to review the 2014 year-end awards, audience voted by the Wrestling Observer News. This is a kind of 2014 insight into how fans felt in general about wrestling in the whole world, and we can see where NXT kind of fits into this. So, first of all, we have most outstanding wrestler of the year. Number 7 on the list is Sami Zayn. So
Oh, damn.
he's voted number 7 most outstanding wrestler, and all his work in 2014 is basically on NXT. So even though it has kind of a smaller audience, Wrestling Observer, it's going to slant kind of more internet in the know people. But yeah, that was one thing I found. Another one that's very fun is the top 3 vote getters for most improved of the year are all NXT adjacent. And
Damn.
it's a very funny list to me because number 3 is Sasha Banks. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
Number 2,
Yeah.
Charlotte. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And number 1 is Rusev.
Okay, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Who I like a lot, and especially in this time period, like a lot. But I didn't. I wouldn't have put him over Sasha and Charlotte and Sasha. First of all, are switched the wrong way, but then
Yeah.
Rusev obviously is. But that's the most improved list, and then we have on the most underrated list. We have
Okay.
number 1. The winning it is Cesaro, winning in a landslide,
Yeah. Well
and that's
deserved.
banger. Number 3, Tyson Kidd. Number 5, Sami Zayn. So a little
Okay.
kind of representation there. And then something I want to point out, which really shows how necessary NXT is the Promotion of the Year award. Number one
Okay.
goes to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I love New Japan Pro Wrestling. This makes sense to me. Number two, Ring of Honor. Number three, Dragon Gate. Number four, Ultimate Fighting Championships. Number five, CMLL. Number six, World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE. They are number six on this list with 392 votes. New Japan wins with 4,064.
Blown out the water. Yeah.
So this is how dire the company is. And even though they had, in 2014, the Daniel Bryan Yes movement, they had reasonable, exciting stuff. They are not there. However, behind all of this, best weekly TV show goes to NXT, number one.
Damn.
In not as convincing as Promotion of the Year, but 2,961 to Ring of Honor's 1,744. And to put that into further perspective, NXT is number one, Raw is number 6, SmackDown is number 9, and Main Event is number 10. I think because they ran out of shows. Because I don't know who the hell voted for Main Event as their best weekly TV show. Maybe they liked who would be on Main Event in 2014. Adam Rose versus probably Rusev.
That was someone who misunderstood. They thought Main Event was the pay-per-views, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I like that."
I love
shit.
the main events. Yeah. And then NXT doesn't have any match of the year top 10s yet at this time. That's still very it's at this point very New Japan heavy, and there's only one WWE match, and it's the Shield versus the Wyatts. Oh, it's Shield Wyatts, and then that's number 6, and then Daniel Bryan versus Triple H is number 8. But NXT doesn't really have that clout yet. In Rookie of the Year voting, Alexa Bliss gets number 4.
Hey, let's go!
And then, in my favorite of these awards, Best Television Announcer goes in a tight race to William Regal.
Well deserved. He was a fantastic announcer.
That is the GOAT.
On that note, I want to mention one of my notes for this week was the commentators are kind of doing nothing this week, and I miss Regal.
Albert brought a little bit. Brought a little.
I will say, one of the first notes of tonight's show for me is Jason Albert is big. I like him.
He is a former wrestler, formerly A-Train, and also notable because I'm not sure if he is at this time, but I know he will be the primary trainer at NXT. So
shit.
Yeah. But yeah, that is your Wrestling Observer 2014 award season rundown. So it's a pretty good for NXT, especially in their first kind of year doing, they're popular in 2013 and stuff, obviously, but doing these takeover events, really kind of ascending, getting a lot of love, and winning Best Weekly TV Show is very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell they're starting to get their foot and they're starting to feel out what is working, what isn't. And I mean, if this pay-per-view was a little bit earlier, I think some of these matches could have been contender for one of the best matches of the year.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, that is enough of the 2014 stuff. We're moving 2014 in the past, and we're going to 2015. We're going to go a little bit through the NXT Takeover Rival news roundup heading into this show. One of my favorite news stories I found was that NXT wrestlers are reportedly disgruntled that they haven't been called up yet because they are not making the same pay as main roster talent. And the reason why this is one of my favorites is because the report also adds, main roster wrestlers are disgruntled that they aren't booked better like NXT. So it's really a catch-22. You can either make money and be miserable, or be miserable and have money, but no soul.
Would you rather have infinite money but no booking. Or infinite booking, but no booking.
And that's what
That's
I think.
the real question.
I think that's Triple H's WWE in 2026, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Anyways, we also get for the first time ever, NXT is planning on traveling out of the Southeast for a live event. They will be traveling to Columbus, Ohio for a live event on March 5th. So,
you know what?
good
if I
for
was
them.
going to go somewhere for the first time, that's where it would be.
Columbus, Ohio, for sure. They saw New York at the top of the list and they went, fuck that. We're going to where the real wrestling is.
We need to save that for like 5 years then.
And then we have a report that the next NXT call-up batch will likely be shortly after WrestleMania 31, which is our show takes place February 11th, so a month and some change away. And the reported names that will be called up will be Charlotte, Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, and Finn Balor. Some of those happen.
Yeah.
Not all of those happen. Some of those do. I'll leave that for now.
I'm because I don't know which of those happen, so I'm excited to see which do and which stick with us.
And then finally, before our show, we have a glorious Triple H pre-takeover call. These are my favorite because it gives me like 20 things to put in this segment. He said more dates were added to NXT's upcoming trip to Ohio due to demand. Ohio loves NXT. And he talked about
big NXT fans.
Yeah, if you look up like a Google Trends map, it's just all the fucking Ohio lit up, and everywhere else is kind of nothing. And then he said the goal is to get more road dates set up to give the developmental brand like more exposure to different crowds and traveling the live show experience, not just working in the Full Sail bubble. One way they're considering doing this, which I don't know if they actually do, is with sold shows, which is when, and I quote, where a casino or similar venue pays WWE up front to put on a card. Which is, an interesting way to do it for cheap. And then, in addition, that would be in addition to traditional house shows that they've done around Florida to this point. Yeah, they'll start touring around more, generally sticking to the Southeast, but they'll go for like a weekend or something out kind of further, But he does say additional touring would not change the mission of NXT or the goal of the roster, which is to get promoted to the main roster, which, makes sense.
Yeah.
He also said, and what I thought was interesting, on his people getting called up mid-storyline, he says he's not worried about it because the goal is to get them on WWE proper. He downplays concerns that call-ups would limit the brand's ability to like kind of thrive, and he said that it's kind of like how ECW back in the day would like have a contract expire and then they'd sign with WWE. And I thought that was interesting as a comparison because ECW wasn't owned by the WWE or anything. And
yeah.
So like you were just like fully in control of this. Like it's a problem that only exists because you. Not Triple H, but Vince, is ignorant to his dealings.
And I also find it interesting comparing NXT, which is like, as a result of the ranking you read out, doing pretty well WWE considered, comparing it to ECW, which...
Be careful.
Goes
tread carefully.
Yeah. As the premise of this show is, I do not know wrestling history nearly as well as you do. But as far as I'm aware, ECW goes under because their talent gets bought out by WWE. So I find comparing a show
it's pretty similar.
It is owned by WWE, and you're comparing it to the thing where you would just buy talent from.
Yeah, it's not a one-to-one comparison at all. Because, like, yeah, ECW goes out of business because they can't really. They fall. Paul Heyman falls behind on his bills, basically his contracts and stuff, and it goes under financially. And that's not a problem with NXT because it's literally owned by WWE.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really get it, but I think it's a fine answer to give, knowing that he can't do anything about it because it's just what Vince wants. and he can't be
Yeah.
like, this sucks. I fucking hate it, because he has to
Yeah.
sell the brand. But I respect what he's trying to do, but he is wrong. He was asked. Oh, this is a very funny moment. He was asked if he and Vince sit down and watch NXT together. Um, and he joked that Vince doesn't sit down or whatever, but he says that he thinks Vince only has it on in the background when he's doing like something else. And he thinks he's proud of the show and thinks they spend a lot of time talking about the future of the product and the business. Now, to me, it sounded like he doesn't watch shit, but he
Yeah.
heard people like it, and he likes that. Which is fine.
I mean, he
because
likes
if
seeing
he,
a number go up. Yeah.
which is fine because if he watched it, he would try and change it, which is what happens
Or-
eventually.
Take even more people from it that are
Exactly.
doing good work there.
Interesting quote.
But
Yeah.
it is also funny to imagine Vince and Shane like sitting down for a cozy night in watching NXT. Their favorite stars,
they're
the
like,
Lucha
oh, fuck yeah,
Dragons, are on.
I love Buddy Murphy. Yeah,
like,
that's not happening.
yeah.
Interesting here. He goes on to the topic of women's wrestling in general, and he says
Okay.
that he hopes they can change the perception of women's wrestling on the bigger stage. But he called it a work in progress because they have to re-educate the casual fans, which I find rings true. I think
Yeah.
generally a lot of hardcore fans have been willing to accept women's wrestling for a longer time. Like a lot of people who have like watched wrestling shows that aren't just WWE probably have seen good women's matches on like the indies or something. But the casuals who only watch WWE only know like a bra and panties match or some
Yeah.
bullshit.
Which I find, like, with my experience going to see SmackDown in person, still rings true to today. Like,
Yeah,
the women's matches that I did see, I saw multiple people leaving the
as like a bathroom break match.
yeah, a bathroom break match, or like noticeably less in it,
Yeah,
or
I
like
mean,
cheering for other stars to come out, where it's just like it would be so weird if you were mid watching like Obafemi and Brock fight, and you hear chants for like Roman Reigns to come out. Like
or
you would
what is,
never have
or
that.
what like I find usually happens is like one of them like they're in the ring or something and then they just like chant for like their husband or something, right? Like who's a
Yeah.
wrestler, like I mean the inverse happens on NXT with Tyson Kidd and Natty, but like like a Naomi match back in the day or something would get a lot of Jimmy Uso chants. And I think
Yeah.
if I had to like give my like elevator pitch take on this, I think we've kind of had a bell curve of for the casual fan, you have like early like 2010s and before, early 2010s and before, not really respected. And then in the mid to late 2010s, you get it. And I think it's kind of gone downhill a little bit due to the presentation in WWE. I mean, they just had a storyline, not even a storyline, but they had to acknowledge that Liv Morgan didn't defend her title for 100 days
Yeah, the
since winning
30-day
it.
rule is
And then
just
they
out
just
the
were like, and then
window.
Chelsea Green gets the 30-day rule. It's like, what the fuck? Where was that?
Yeah, I feel like we're just seeing it very like unstable, which is so weird. Like especially like saying all of the sentiment when in my opinion, the best match of tonight's show is the women's match.
Oh yeah,
Like,
no,
hands
yeah, for
down.
sure.
Like, I think it's so interesting going from, like you were saying, in the past being at such a weird spot of wanting just, like, either bra and panty matches or this is this person's wife match
Yeah, or it's just
to
like
such a
all the matches were like 2
gone.
minutes long, right? And we get like this
Yeah.
huge match later, like for the four horsewomen.
And we're in such a, like, amazing moment, and then history rewinds, which I feel is so weird that, like, more people aren't, like, egregiously upset by this,
Yeah,
because part
it's
of what I thought the change of, like, Vince to Triple H would be is letting matches like this take the forefront.
yeah. Well,
And yeah.
it's just crazy.
Go.
Do you know that Triple H hasn't had a woman main event WrestleMania, and
Yeah.
Vince had it twice.
Yeah.
And he did it before. It's like that's not what you'd expect, but like, it's crazy because today you have people like Rhea Ripley who are like some of the biggest mainstream stars you get, but they just don't get afforded that time. And yeah, I agree with you. I think it's kind of we've gone backwards in a lot of ways with the treatment of the company of women's wrestling, and I think it's symptomatic of a lot of problems in WWE right now. And it's probably not an intentional thing, but it is happening. So yeah, I think that Triple H quote from 2014 is really interesting. He could do some re-educating of the casual fans now.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
and especially
yeah,
now, he has the
it's his
ability to
it's
do
in
it
his
on
power.
like a wide. Yeah. Like,
You can't tell me like a Rhea Ripley Io Sky match shouldn't main event WrestleMania. Like obviously it should.
yeah.
And that's not the only people who could do it, but I'm just giving you like the easiest layup ever.
Yeah, but, like, even in my opinion, I think someone like Sol Ruka should be main eventing. Like,
I mean,
I
she can
think
get there
they
for
have
sure.
amazing talent that is just being squandered.
Well, that's
left,
the
right,
thing.
and
It's like today
center.
they're not even doing like main events for women on like any pay per view. Like not even like smaller shows and stuff. Like they'll main event a Raw or SmackDown sometimes, but like not if Roman's on it, not if
Yeah.
Cody's on it, Punk.
I was thinking about that, just thinking about wrestling over these
Yeah.
last 2 weeks a lot, and I think part of what makes me feel unhappy with Roman as a wrestler and as the face of WWE at large at the moment is that I think I would like him in quantities, but it feels like by booking him, you have to get rid of other things that could be equally compelling as the 98th Bloodline run.
Yeah, we need more Bloodline slop though. Have you considered this?
But
I mean, you get like
but I
last week on Raw or whatever, like Solo Sikoa cuts like some of the funniest fucking promos or whatever, and then now he's just gonna be back in the Bloodline again, and you're like, fucking
Yep.
come on, man.
but I feel like that's part of it. Is like if current wrestling specifically at WWE, because I think this is a WWE problem at the moment. If
Yeah.
it let matches come into fruition and not set a schedule for the year at January and try to follow it to the T through the year, it would let more interesting stuff come up.
Well, yeah,
Because,
it's like
yeah,
to
go
add
on.
on to you. To me, my perception is like it's not like set in January, but it's like in like June or something. They're like, this is what we want our WrestleMania main event to be. So you have like somebody like Obafemi get super over, but they're like, we need to do Roman versus Oba at WrestleMania. But then that means Oba has to be in like stasis in the cryo chamber
Yeah.
because you can't have him face Roman yet. And yeah, I agree with you. It just gets fucking everything goes so slow.
Yeah. I am a radical believer. I think the best thing they could do at the moment is just hard power ranking reset.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just drop everyone back to 0. Don't put like let everybody go back to. You could tune into a match of Raw and see anybody fighting rather than expecting, like, okay, I'm gonna get this mid card every week. I'm going to get this main event every week.
Mm-hmm.
Because the problem's so bad, it infects the games even. Like, I've been
Mm-hmm.
playing 2K25,
Yeah.
the universe mode, and I feel like every single week I'm playing the same 4 matches with the same 4 people, and I'm like, dang, this is what I was watching on Raw a year ago.
Well, their philosophy is consistent.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I super agree with you. Anyways, back to this.
Yeah. Sorry.
Um,
Huge
anyways,
tangent.
No, I love the tangent. I think it's applicable, and actually, I think part of the reason I love this era of NXT so much is because shit happens all the time, and
Yeah.
things change. We've had like no rematches yet. Like
Yeah.
that's gonna change next show. But we've had no rematches yet. Spoiler: they do Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn again. But like
Which,
that's fine.
yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, something interesting on that note though is Triple H in this call also talks about how he's glad that in NXT they don't have to ignore the history of guys like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, because at this point it's actually pretty non-traditional to reference things happening outside of the company as a part of storyline. Of course, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they really lean into the fact that they travel together on the indies and stuff. They don't go into details. They don't go like, oh, you should watch Ring of Honor. But it's I think it's a welcome change compared to like on the main roster at this time, where my perception is that they like try so hard to not reference it that it becomes distracting.
Yeah. Well,
And
and
then yeah.
I think that's part of the, like, me wanting the reset of everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to address the history outside the company, just let it be like the company's a new start for everyone.
Sure. And then I think a really interesting thing on this call is that he talks about Hideo Itami coming to WWE in the States. And he said that like for people to jump like from that situation, it's a lot. He said he's seeing guys get overwhelmed with the WWE experience, and he thinks that's some of what is happening with Hideo Itami. He says he saw flashes of him getting it more often lately, and he still believes he'll get there. So kind of indications in a public setting of like Hideo Itami kind of stalling, which I think you kind of sense in this show because, the whole thing was Itami, Balor, and Owens all got signed at the same time. And on this show, you have Finn Balor in a number one contenders match, Kevin Owens in the main event for the NXT title, and you have Hideo Itami in a good match with Tyler Breeze,
Yeah.
but it's like noticeably less impactful.
Yeah. One, even prior
Especially
to this,
considering
another paper.
he
Go on,
came in
yeah.
first, because he was on the
Yeah.
show first, but he's kind of being left behind.
No, I mean, like, it's also telling that in the matches we've seen in other pay-per-views, because I can't speak for weeklies, it feels like it's always he's the one getting beat up and Finn has to step in and save him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only time we've seen him come in like a raging bullet, like, it
Yeah.
felt like he should have been all of these weeks, was when he kicked the Ascension's mat, in his, like, promo.
In his debut segment, yeah, his first ever
Yeah,
segment,
like-
yeah.
Like, we haven't seen
Takeover.
that energy of Hideo
No.
pretty much since.
And he'll be the first match here, and I enjoy this match he has with Tyler Breeze, but I have some notes for them on why I think
Yeah.
Hideo Itami's not working and why he should be. But before we get into that last piece of news from this Triple H conference call, he says, if you're on the indies, WWE is probably already aware of you. and he notes that William Regal is his point man on people to watch on the indies. God
Okay.
bless William Regal. And
Yeah.
he says on the call that he thinks independent talents should work on their personalities as much as their wrestling, which is interesting because he's like signing like kind of these super workers at this point in time, like very in ring kind of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is enough of the news, which takes us to NXT Takeover Rival, February 11th, 2015 edition. We get a self-glazing video package to start for NXT,
Yeah.
and it's like, fuck, NXT's so fucking sick. And I was like, if you were worse, I would hate this more.
Yeah, like
Just
it's one of those things.
terrible.
If I saw like happen on Raw or SmackDown, I'd be like, ah, come on. But seeing it on
Yeah.
NXT in this moment in their history,
Yeah.
I'm like, you get to pop off. Take that.
Um,
Take that.
And then the video package walks through the Fatal 4-Way with the 4 Horsewomen, and then some Zayn and Owens hype, which we'll get into later. And that leads us straight into the action. Again, if you're a modern WWE fan, it's going to be very jarring. We're like 45 seconds into the broadcast runtime, and we're getting the entrance for the first match, which is Hideo Itami versus Tyler Breeze. And you get it's so funny to me because it starts and we get Itami's little fucking I am Japanese music. In case you forget, he's Japanese. His music does actually rock, but the intro is so funny to me.
No, it's one of those like every time I'm like, all right, and then I get into it. Yeah.
Yeah, we see during Itami's entrance that our commentary team for tonight is Corey Graves. He's here. Rich, I haven't bothered to learn his last name. And Albert A. Train is on commentary. Great. He's pretty fun. He's no worse than the guy who I forget he replaced. No one will ever be William Regal to me.
I need another commentator just saying wild shit to
Yeah.
react to.
And then we get the Tyler Breeze entrance. And this guy is the fucking greatest of all time.
Okay.
Walk me through
Do you
it.
mind if I take...
Walk me through it.
Tyler Breeze comes out. Amazing stage presence, as always.
The classics
What's that
are still
in his
there.
hand? Oh, it's a selfie stick that has, I think, felt wrapped around it, so it looks like he ripped the arm off a Muppet and is using it as a selfie stick. Looking fantastic. It is so gaudy. It matches his personality great.
It's
He
very
hits the
perfect.
ramp and you're like, okay, the selfie stick is the new thing. Great. And then a woman jumps from the audience to hug and tackle him and has to be escorted away by security. The entire time Breeze does not react to her. He's just upset that she's in his shot. and I am losing it. This is genuinely the moment that cements. I think Tyler Breeze is one of my favorite wrestlers at NXT.
Yeah, he's
I loved the
kind
character.
of the best. Yeah, this entrance fucking rules. Can I tell you something?
Yeah,
I
please.
have the identity of the woman.
No shot, please.
That woman was the first ever WWE NXT appearance of Liv Morgan.
What?
Yeah, it only gets better. Yeah, fantastic.
I feel like watching through NXT with the Rosebuds I'm getting like a whiplash of like seeing Ghost of Christmas Future.
Yes. Well, that's the great
Like,
thing about
it's
NXT
insane.
is that all of their extras are just like developmental people who aren't on TV yet, so they can just do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's up, Liv Morgan? You will live in
That's-
infamy.
That's really good. Yeah,
Look,
that's
like, because I
sick.
saw her jump on him, and I was like, is that fucking Liv Morgan? And then I looked it up, and it was like, that's fucking Liv Morgan. And I was like, hell yeah. And it's so funny, because Tyler Breeze, absolutely no reaction to that shit. He's just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
My fucking selfie's ruined. Um, so the story going into this match is that there was a number one contenders tournament for the NXT Championship that will culminate on this night, but in the first round, Itami beats Breeze, but then Itami loses to Finn Balor, and after losing to Finn Balor, Breeze attacks Itami backstage, throwing him into lockers and shit, yelling that he blew it and that if Breeze was still in it, he could have beat Finn. So that's kind of our story going into this match. It's not a super deep story, but it is a continuation of their prior match. This match is pretty good. It's not
Yeah.
the best these two can do, but it didn't really get given the time to do
No.
that. It goes about 8 minutes, which is has been fine for the opener previously, but it's like I know these two can do more, but they still did pretty well. Um, yeah, match starts with Itami hitting quick kicks, kind of just kicking the shit out of Tyler Breeze until Breeze like runs away and puts the ref between them to like
Yeah.
avoid getting his ass kicked, and then he gets
He
advantage.
he's hiding behind the ref, like peeking out over his hip, trying to make sure like is Hideo still there?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's pretty funny. And then Itami gets some good offense, hits like cool like clothesline, kitchen sink, penalty kick combo. One really cool moment, Breeze goes for a crossbody and then just Itami just drop kicks him out of the air.
yeah.
At this point in the match,
Metal.
Breeze begins shedding his very fuzzy outfit across the ring. Turning point, Breeze attacks Itami's leg on the outside and focuses on it. Does the figure four hanging off of the ring post spot, which is really cool. Breeze does submission stuff to stay ahead. And then we head into the final phase of the match, which is where I kind of have some problems because Itami picks him up to do the GTS, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
crowd lose their fucking mind. And I'm like, Itami's not doing great, but he's got the GTS still. People love that shit. But he tries to get the GTS. Breeze escapes. Really cool counter sequence. Big supermodel kick for a near fall. That was like the moment of the match where like I felt like the crowd was kind of into it, and then once like the GTS starts into the counters and the supermodel kick for like the pin attempt, I thought that's when the crowd like got shot out of a cannon, and like we're really into it.
Well,
And that would be
it
fine if
doesn't
this
help.
match was longer.
Yeah. Like it doesn't help that like going into the GTS, people are losing their mind for Breeze. Then Hideo picks Breeze up, and they're like, "Oh shit, this is going to be the closer."
Yeah.
And then it just kind of like it feels like it just starts letting air out.
Yeah, it's like it's the GT. My problem with this is like so this all happens. Kicks out of the supermodel kick. They do like the yay boo spot on the knees. That Tommy fires up, hits some great looking kicks to Breeze. Just hits like kick after kick after kick. Hits a hesitation drop kick in the corner, and then he hits like a running Claymore type kind of kick, and then he just wins.
Yeah.
I am floored that they don't just let him win with the GTS.
Especially because, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Hideo invent the GTS?
Well, yeah, I know what your line of thinking is here. Yes, he invents it, but it wouldn't matter because CM Punk. Well, guess what? By this point, CM Punk's been out of the company
No,
for
yeah.
8 months, so it's not even like a don't take a top guy's move thing. I just like they're deliberately putting him in these situations where he's not giving the fans what they want because the
Yeah.
GTS rules
Uh,
as a move, and it's just so frustrating, like to see Hideo like have
squandered.
these fucking opportunities, and it's like there for it. It's like, dude, like the crowd, the loudest they were for the whole match was when he just got him on his shoulders, not even did the move.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
and
just
I
like,
also
what the
feel
fuck are you
like
doing?
if you're going to like tease that, you either have to end with it or you can't have that spot because
Yeah.
like Hideo has not hit the GTS since being at NXT, and if he had hit it there, the match ended like 2-3 minutes early. I think genuinely this would be in contention for one of NXT's strongest pay-per-views. But doing the pump fake of setting it up and then having Breeze kind of like wriggle out of it,
Well,
it just
that's a fine spot to do if you pay it off. And
that's what I mean by
it's
like
not like he's
you
a
have to
heel
pay it
where he
off.
gets it's not like he's a heel where you like do that and it's good because then he's like, he's supposed to be a good guy. But right now he's just like doing shit, and I think they're trying to show, oh, he can win by kind of anything. But it's like, I want him to win with the fucking GTS.
Yeah, because like I think it's also like if you were to have Breeze lose or Breeze win, where it's like he couldn't hit the GTS and that led him to lose, that would be storytelling.
It makes
But
sense, right?
having him set it up, but still win not using it, it just feels like that's a spot that shouldn't have been in the match.
And it's like, maybe you can do that years into his run or whatever, but it's like he hasn't gotten a chance to establish himself really in that way. It's like you can't like do twists on the form before you establish the art, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, you could tell even the crowd who hasn't seen Kenta knew something amazing was supposed to happen there.
Well,
And,
like the
like,
problem is that a lot of them do know Kenta and they expect more.
yeah. Well, but, like, looking beyond the, like, obviously the people who know Kenta are expecting such an amazing match and are getting an
Fine.
alright opener. The
Yeah.
people who have only been introduced to Hideo Itami
What do
are
they
going
have?
to forever see him as like a mid-card act. They aren't going to see the legacy that Kenta should have coming into
Yeah.
this. Because, like you said, NXT is addressing outside of NXT things that are happening with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, but
And
not
didn't
giving that same respect.
and they did it with Hideo and Finn Balor, and they did it in his introduction, talking about, oh, he's like the Japanese superstar, blah blah blah. But they just don't do, the mouth tells me something different than what the body's showing me. Which what they're showing me is that he's just kind of all right.
Well, at least we have a better match to cleanse our palate,
Oh, good
right?
lord, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That, if you want to say that, yeah.
Ugh, no.
Anyways, yeah. So that was Balor, or no, not Balor. Breeze versus Itami.
Hideo, yeah.
Like I said, fine match. Not anything special. These two have both had better. But thank God, you're right. We have Bull Dempsey versus Baron Corbin in a no disqualification match.
Yeah, what a no disqualification
And
match
yeah,
this was.
I want to say, this is, it's not the worst match NXT takeovers have had, but
No, no,
it is the most pointless and like the least, like I don't know how to describe it. It's not the worst in terms of quality, but it is the worst in terms of like, it's a no DQ match. Correct me if I'm wrong. Not a single thing that occurred would have resulted in a disqualification in this match.
no, 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 no. I'm going to make the bold claim. I think this is the worst match NXT has done up to date. I would rather watch any of the other alright matches with CJ Parker or the middling tag team matches in the first few pay-per-views. Because, audience, This is a no disqualification match in which Bull Dempsey looks under the ring like he's going to grab a table.
That was the fucking
Does not
funniest
grab
fucking
one.
part. Well, it's like he looks under the table.
towards-
It looks like he's looking for it, and then he walks back. And I'm like, they're setting up the spot. And then he just never goes back.
Yeah, and then later in the match, Bull Dempsey grabs a chair, goes like he's going to hit Baron Corbin with it, doesn't, because Baron reverses and the chair's just thrown to the side, and then you see Baron going for his finisher, and you're like, oh shit, he's gonna hit the end of days onto the chair.
Exactly.
Chair's nowhere to be
Nowhere
found.
near.
He hits the end of days. That's the end of the match. Not a single thing in this match could have caused a DQ. The only reason I could think they made it a no DQ match is so that they wouldn't be counted out to get back inside the ring. But even then, it's
That's
like
not a good enough reason to have a no DQ match.
even then, I think the longest they were ever outside the ring is 11 seconds.
And
Where
they
it's like
fucking-
just
they-
barely.
They fudge counts on the outside all the fucking time too. So I don't.
Literally.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd have to look and see if I don't think this is my least favorite, but it is certainly up there. I didn't hate the very start of it when Corbin was out on top at the start. It wasn't great, but I didn't hate it. But yeah, it really just falls the fuck apart after. Oh, also, you left out my favorite part of the match, which is they're in the ring and Corbin goes to clothesline Bull Dempsey over the top rope, and Corbin falls over the top rope, and then Dempsey doesn't. And instead of just like going down and rolling out of the ring, he throws himself over the top rope. And immediately gets a fucking you fucked up chant. And it's just like, that is such a developmental kind of mistake of like, you just don't have enough experience. Because it's like, I guarantee you, like, they're rehearsing the match or whatever in their heads. It's only like 4.5 minutes or something. You know, they can memorize all these spots. And then they go, and I'll clothesline you over the top rope, and we'll both go to the outside. And so when he gets clotheslined, he goes, I have to go over the top rope. And what he ends up doing is the worst fucking thing possible, which is making it immediately apparent that this was rehearsed and not real.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's so egregious that it is like Corbin hits the floor. You see Bull look down at him and then start going over, that the commentators have to be like, and Bull Dempsey is launching himself over the top rope.
It takes so long. They do like, the cameraman has time to do like 3 different movements. It's like the clothesline happens. He like watches Corbin go to the outside. He pants back up to Dempsey, and then he goes back to Corbin, and then Dempsey's like falling over the top while he's panning back to Corbin. And it's just like, I think my problem a lot nowadays, this is another modern rant, but like, my impression, especially for like, not your 4 horsemen and the people who are on this show, but a lot of newer talents in the women's division, you know, they have matches very infrequently because they don't get as much time as the men on, and they don't have a ton of house shows. And in NXT, they're on, you know, every so often. And this is based on, like, you know, interviews and stuff, like, but, like, my impression is that a lot of women's matches are, like, very rehearsed nowadays. And
yeah,
you see, like, botch clips circulate online or whatever in, like, these matches. And, like, I love a lot of the talent, but it's, like, to me, what I end up seeing in this match is a symptom we still have today, which is if you only know how to do very rehearsed matches, you don't know how to improvise correctly, which Bull Dempsey does not know how to improvise correctly. I'll tell you that much. He is bad at wrestling. I'm sorry, Bull Dempsey fans, in the year of our Lord 2026. Bull Dempsey is bad at fucking wrestling. And part of the fucking reason is because he has, like, no experience. And it's fine if you're on NXT to be terrible at wrestling or whatever, because you're just going to go. But it's like, I see a lot nowadays of newer talent only doing rehearse shit, not just like going with the flow. And this is how you get shit like this. You know, it's like this last year, Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch had a match, and I love Lyra Valkyria, but like they have this spot where Lyra gets handcuffed to the ring, to the ropes on the outside, and Becky's like hitting her, and then the handcuff breaks off, and she just like doesn't know what to do. Obviously that's bad, but then she initially just tries to keep her hand there and hope nobody notices. There's a fucking camera 10 feet max away from you at all times. There's probably a camera 2 feet away from you. You're going to notice. You just have to improvise. And I think this match reeks of, we have a plan, and if things go off of that, we have no backup.
Well, and I feel like that's part of what makes some of WWE wrestling nowadays feel so stale, is if you have good enough pattern recognition, you can trace the beats. You can
that's
tell
a huge WWE problem.
when this moment is going to happen, when the finishers are getting close, because it doesn't feel spontaneous. It feels like they are trying to make a good match, but by doing it, it feels contrived. And I feel like that's part of the having so much history of matches going wrong because it wasn't planned, with people like Great Khali just like chopping people while they're in the middle of a stare down, or like was it Mark Henry who was trying to get into the Hell in a Cell and the chain wasn't breaking?
That was not what I was thinking of, but yes, that's something too.
But like, you have infamous moments like that have become so popular that they want to try and get around that, but because of that, it feels kind of like corporate WWE. Part of the fun was, I don't know if something's going to go wrong, and they're just gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, it's like you and I both have like an acting background, and like the whole point of like, you rehearse, but like you're supposed to make, like when you perform, everything should feel like it's happening for the first time, and it never feels like that. There are some wrestlers who are fantastic at this, but I feel like a lot of WWE talent who do not come from outside sources, who just are developmental products through and through, do have the problem you're speaking about of just not having enough experience to go with the flow, and they play it safe. And when you play it safe and you fail, like happens in this match with Bull Dempsey, it's just egg on your face, because you know what, if you play it risky and you fail, I'm not going to hold that against you.
Yeah,
that's fine. It happens. Shit happens.
I mean, like, I've also been watching more local wrestling, and when they go for something big and it doesn't work out great, but it still got that effect, you can separate that and have this cognitive dissonance of like, I am watching someone jump out of a box onto another guy. That was cool. I don't have to focus on the fact that his leg caught on the rope a little bit.
Yeah,
but when it feels like I've seen the same, not only the same flow of matches, but worse, the same two people fighting matches week in and out. It just feels soulless.
Yeah, it's pretty damn rough. So this match, you maybe are convincing me.
5-star.
Yeah, you're maybe convincing me. I'm not gonna join you yet in saying it's the worst, because it did make me laugh. But
no.
But not because it was like, not even, it didn't make me laugh because it was like funny bad, except for that spot. It just made me laugh in concept, because yes, not a single spot was a DQ. The only thing that they couldn't have done in a normal match is Bull Dempsey attempting to hit him with a chair, because the ref would have been like, don't do that. But it didn't happen. And like you said, I was so sure the End of Days was going to get hit onto the chair. It seemed like such a fucking layup to do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Which I do want to give
Terrible.
credit before we move on to this match. Baron Corbin, the End of Days was beautiful looking.
End of Days is such
Genuinely,
a
it
great
was an
move.
amazing looking move. If this was a normal match, I would have been
Fine.
like, yeah, that was alright. I don't like Bull Dempsey or Baron Corbin particularly, but the End of Days is a sick move. On to the next match.
Yeah.
Having it be no DQ was
so
just such a
pointless.
weird stipulation.
Yeah, because when you announce a no DQ match, it's like expectations are different. You've done
Yeah.
this to yourself where like I expect some shit to happen. And when you don't deliver that, the match is worse, even though effectively it's the same as a normal match. Well, if you just advertise it as a normal match, I wouldn't have these expectations.
Yeah.
After the match, Corbin gets the chair. I'm like, is he going to fucking hit him now? And no, he just sits in it and he's like, hey, I won.
Oh my. I mean, like, he also, like, does a little kick at Bull Dempsey, and it's just like. You don't get to have this for whatever the fuck that was.
No. So, yeah. I think we just broke the world record for longest time spent on Bull Dempsey versus Baron Corbin, no DQ, NXT Takeover Rival. Most time spent talking about that match by anyone ever.
Yeah.
And so we're going to move on. Fuck that match. It was bad. We have an advertisement for the first ever WWE Fastlane pay-per-view. Cool.
Whoa.
Good for them, I guess. They do it for like 8 years and then stop. We have the Lucha Dragons versus Blake and Murphy for the tag titles. And you may be confused because I thought the Lucha Dragons were the tag champions. But Blake and Murphy are the ones holding the tag titles. Well, I can answer that intricate story for you really quickly. Blake and Murphy won the tag titles. Yeah.
Prior to the Lucha Dragons and Blake and Murphy match, we do get a promo for the women's Fatal 4-Way.
Oh, yes.
And they notably say that Becky Lynch can't buy a NXT belt from Hot Topic. She'll have to win it. And
yeah. Becky Lynch is not final form Becky Lynch here at all.
No.
It's kind of Uncanny Valley.
She's, like, they don't really know how to include her in this match, so she's just doing push-ups on stairs.
Yeah. And then you get, like, and then they pan to Bayley, and she looks like she's contending with some anxiety and some character,
Yeah.
And also everybody fucking loves Bayley, so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But,
anyways,
Blake
you
and
were
Murphy
correct.
have the belt.
Yeah, so the story going into this match is that a few weeks ago, Blake and Murphy won the belts from the Lucha Dragons. And now they're facing the Lucha Dragons. I'm sorry if you thought there was more story. There's not.
No, I know not to get my hopes up with the Lucha Dragons.
This is where we are. Do you know, after finding out that was the story coming into this match, I looked up when my favorite NXT tag team has their first takeover match as kind of a, like, when will this pain and suffering end for me? Because I'm walking and I'm like, I swear NXT's tag division was fucking money. What is this? And you know what? I like Blake and Murphy. They're good. They're actually really good.
Oh, yeah.
But like the Lucha Dragons are just so fucking boring at this point. And it's like, it's like not their fault, but it is their fault because they haven't done anything new. Because like I'm taking notes while they're entering, and then I'm like, oh, these guys are fucking nothing. Their song is a literal 5-second loop, and it's the same song they've had the whole time. But now I'm just annoyed of it,
Yeah. I mean, I will say for the Lucha Dragons entrance this time, they got kick-ass shirts. I would love to own one of those.
The shirts are cool and very neon, slightly blinding neon.
They're very bright.
Yeah. Yeah, they enter. Blake and Murphy enter, and in case you thought escaping 2014 would take you out of outdated references to the much more modern 2015, Blake and Murphy come in with their dubstep entrance.
Yeah.
Um, but
And
it's fun.
a flashing screen that is
Yeah.
very, very much.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But it's a lot and it's very outdated, but it is pretty cool, I think. I really like in their entrance, they go around to the side to kind of pose on the apron, and Murphy like slides through the ropes from the ramp side to pose, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also, I want to note that before the match starts, Albert quotes Sun Tzu.
He does do that.
And it's like, this is the match you're using Sun Tzu on. um, it's just like, I feel like, uh,
Yeah.
it's just like, they really just don't have the tag team talent, to kind of have this division be thorough at this point in time. I like Blake and Murphy here, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
This match is.
I'm worried it's going to be another case of how we were with the Lucha Dragons, where we were so excited to see them, and then in 3 pay-per-views, I'm gonna be like, when are Blake and Murphy gonna die?
Yeah,
But
I am.
I liked
more.
watching them.
I am more hopeful because I really love Buddy Murphy, now Buddy Matthews' work now, and so I'm like holding out hope. Yeah, they retain here. This match is. What are your thoughts on this match? Because I remember I messaged you after watching it, and you had some thoughts.
Yeah, I want to say I've never seen Blake and Murphy. I liked them a lot. I thought they brought an energy that felt like, oh, these aren't just like gimmick characters, which NXT has
Yes.
kind of been stuck with in their mid cards for a minute. They felt like wrestlers that I was really excited. Had some great moves. There were a few botches this
Okay,
match.
this is my take on the match. I think,
Yeah.
and I know we just talked about Baron Corbin versus Bull Dempsey. In my notes, I said this is the worst takeover match we've had. And I want to explain myself.
Please.
I like Blake and Murphy, and the Lucha Dragons are fine. There's just no sense of momentum in this match, like you said.
No.
Early tag maneuver stuff from Blake and Murphy, it's kind of cool. Sin Cara comes in, fucks up a Hurricane Rana. Then he tags in Kalisto, and then Kalisto fucks up a dive to the outside. And I'm like, what the fuck? These two were supposed to be good at this shit.
Not just fucks up. He slips on the mid rope, pauses, the commentators comment on it, so he just re-jumps over the top rope and splashes on Murphy.
And then you have Sin Cara does a victory roll off the top rope. I'm like, what the fuck? And then at one point, Murphy's on the apron. He's like looking to tag in, and Blake is like right there, and they like kind of like just like start touching each other, like just like not like, and then the refs just like tag. You tagged in, because they weren't like doing anything. It was so boring to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, to me, this match was really, really bad.
I think also part of it is anytime there was like a pin reversal, it just looked so sloppy. Like,
Yeah.
both people in the pin were trying to go for different ways of countering it. The finish of the running suplex into a splash was fine.
Yeah, it's like, it's
I think-
fine. In a match with a better momentum, and like you could build to that. That's like a fine finish, but there was just nothing good happening before it, so it just felt like the finish happened. And it's like this match
I
got
think
3 seconds less time than Itami
yeah.
versus Tyler Breeze, and it's like they just didn't feel it. I don't know.
I think it's genuinely between the Bull Dempsey, Baron Corbin, and this match. It's a matter of, do you prefer matches that are bad but still going somewhere, or boring? Because
Exactly.
but depending on that, I think both of these matches have the contention of worst match of NXT pay-per-views, because like
Which is it's tough after like last show on our Evolution. We were like, this is the best NXT show ever.
yeah.
And by this
Well, and
point in this takeover, I'm like, woof. And it's like I had faith because I knew the rest of the card, and yeah, the rest of the card does deliver. But I was like, damn, this is rough.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's, it's genuinely just like there's very little to say about this match. Like,
Yeah,
they had some good moves, but it just felt so rocky and slow, while also certain spots were going really quick because the beginning of it had like 4 botches in a row, so they felt like they needed to get that speed back.
yeah, yeah. It was just very nothing. But also like whenever it was something, it was not good. Um,
Oh.
but yeah,
They
Blake and Murphy retained the belts.
yeah.
We will
There
see
was
them
a
next time.
after the match, like the program got hacked with like a takeover,
Yes, it did.
and they said like tune in next week, and I have no clue what that means, but
Well,
coming out of
this is
Baron Corbin, Bull Dempsey, and the Lucha Dragons match, I was excited for something.
well. I have bad
Don't
news.
tell me.
So yeah, like you say, that shit pops up. That is teasing the debut of Solomon Crow, who is one guy, so he's not gonna be in the tag division. Solomon Crow
God damn it.
is Sammy Callahan now. He is not gonna make a NXT Takeover appearance. So there you go.
Okay. Whatever.
In
I
terms,
guess I'm stuck with the Lucha Dragons for a billion more
well,
years.
I have news for you as well. This is the final appearance of the Lucha Dragons on NXT Takeover.
I do not
So,
want to be mean
Mazel
to them.
Tov.
I am extremely happy I do not have to watch another match. I
Yeah.
will say I was spoiled a bit on the fact that they would not be coming back, because as part of having some extra time on this pay-per-view, I looked up how people were feeling about it when the pay-per-view came out.
Yes.
And one rumor that was going around was that Kalisto was going to be coming back as a singles wrestler who played a gay hairdresser.
Oh my fucking
And I was just
god.
like, okay, I would have loved to see that angle. Where the fuck could they have gone with that?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the last we see of them. I'll go through a rundown on where both of them end up wrestling wise. I'll start with the more
Yeah.
boring one first, which is not what you'd expect because Kalisto, in my estimation, is the more boring story here. He gets their main roster debuts on February 17th on Main Event, which is 6 days after this show. So they were really getting yanked up. And then he debuts on Raw on March 30th. And they stay as the Lucha Dragons for a bit, kind of throughout that year. And then Sin Cara gets a shoulder injury. So Kalisto then goes on a singles run. He has some time, a cup of coffee with the U.S. title. He and like Rusev had kind of a series of matches and stuff, I remember. Then he gets sent to when they make the Cruiserweight Championship, he gets sent to that division, and he's kind of just like a guy in the Cruiserweight division for a while. And then you have, in 2018, the greatest faction of all time, Lucha House Party. And my favorite thing about Lucha House Party is that they would say in promos, "We like to have a good time." And it's like everyone likes to have a good time. And that
Yeah.
was their only characteristic. It was Kalisto, Gran Metalik, and Lince Dorado. So they do Lucha House Party things for 3 years. Somewhere in there, you get the Lucha Things promo. He has one single AEW match, and he's just been kind of doing shit ever since.
Okay. Okay.
That is Kalisto. Also ranked 25th in 2016 on the PWI 500 top 500 singles wrestlers, which is hilarious to me.
That is crazy.
And winner of a Slammy Award for the OMG shocking moment of the year when he hit a Salida del Sol off a ladder on Jey Uso.
I mean
So
that
God
sounds
bless.
cool to
This was,
see. Yeah.
this was, I mean, that spot was probably good, but that was boring Jey Uso. That was face paint Jey Uso. Now, on to Sin Cara. And something I've been hiding for you is that there are two Sin Caras.
What? Wait, what? I feel like you just did like a Truman Show-esque, like, pulling down the curtain. There's actually been two of them all along.
So, there were two Sin Caras. We only saw one.
Okay.
We only saw one, whose name was Cinta de Oro. And it's really hard to talk about his history because he wrestled before signing for WWE under the name Místico. And then, when he got signed with WWE, he changed his name. And then there was another guy who was named Místico who came up. And he's the Místico we have today in AEW. CMLL legend. One of the, top drawing wrestlers ever. Sold out Arena Mexico, countless weeks in a row. So he's Místico now. Místico, who becomes Sin Cara, is in WWE, so he doesn't use that name. Well, the trick is that both of these guys become Sin Cara at different points.
Sorry.
And so Místico Sin Cara, Místico of today, was the first Sin Cara. And this Sin Cara is the second Sin Cara. And in 2012, there was a Sin Cara versus Sin Cara match. This Sin Cara is Sin Cara Negro. But eventually Místico leaves the company, and so he's just normal Sin Cara. Does this clear everything up for you?
No! It just leaves me more questions! What do you mean? What do you mean that two people who wrestled under the name Místico both also were Sin Cara? What do you mean? Is it like they have two labels that they can ever use for wrestlers, and it's like, well, you're taking the one, I'm trading the other.
Well,
it's a draft pick for who gets to be Sin Cara this year. What are you talking about?
Okay. I'm sensing you're upset.
I'm not upset. I'm just confused.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm going to try and clear this up for you. Místico Sin Cara leaves the WWE, and it's like in my head, this was slightly before my time. So in my head, I'm like, oh, they just signed other Místico to be new Sin Cara, so they can still have Sin Cara on the show, you know. But that's not what happened. There was overlap. But anyways, Místico Sin Cara leaves, and then you have this Sin Cara who stays, and he is much less successful than the other one. He gets released from WWE in 2019 after doing nothing kind of forever, and he Went to AAA, and has now started his own wrestling promotion called Cinta de Oro Promotions. And in
Okay.
2023, it had its first event, which included Andrade El Idolo.
Huh. I mean, sick. I'm.
Also, in
Yeah.
2016, our Sin Cara had to take anger management classes following separate altercations with Simon Gotch and Chris Jericho.
Fucking whatever.
The yeah, the Sin Cara Chris Jericho incident is like pretty like well known. It was on a tour bus on the European tour, and like everything that happens on the everything happens on the European tour because it's like the one time of year now that they all are like, well, not even now, but like in the 2010s, it's the one time of year where everybody's taking the same buses and shit.
Yeah.
But there was like a pull apart brawl, and apparently Jericho bit one of his fingers. so so that's Sin Cara.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for your
Whatever.
service. So that's the Lucha Dragons, infinitely more entertaining in their death than they were in life, which will lead us to the that's going to lead us to our number one contenders match between Finn Balor and Adrian Neville. Now this is off of the
So
back of a number one contenders tournament.
yeah. I want to say going into this, how did you feel about this match?
I um I thought it was great. I actually thought it was
Yeah.
legitimately great. Probably my honestly maybe my second favorite match of the night.
I
Maybe.
I
Very close with the main event.
I genuinely think the next three matches interspersibly could be the top three matches of the night, depending on who you liked,
Yeah.
what type of wrestling you
We
like. Because
we were
fantastic.
really struggling for a while, and
Yeah.
NXT reminded me why it's NXT with this match. Some brief
I
background.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, it's just brief background on the match before. The number one contenders tournament has been happening. To get to the finals, Finn Balor beat Curtis Axel and Hideo Itami. Neville beat Tyson Kidd and Baron Corbin. I just realized I didn't even go into the backstory for the Baron Corbin Bull Dempsey match. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, whatever. We spent
Anyways,
enough time on that.
and so now we've ended up in this tournament final. Um, yeah, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say both. The beginning was so not to mince words, it was so bad that I had to watch this pay per view in three sittings because the Bull Dempsey one made me put the pay per view down and be like, I need some time away. I watched the Lucha one, it put it down again because I was like, God dang
Damn
it.
it.
And then the rest of the card was wonderful.
Yes.
And also, uh, at least personally, I think this is one of Adrian Neville's best matches we've seen yet.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
I
it's a
think,
very good one. I think Balor
I
is, I mean, aside from
yeah,
maybe Sami Zayn, like clearly his best dance partner here, in terms of like personal quality. But yeah, Neville's great in this. Before we get into the match, we get a little promo package. Basically, they've been friends for a long time. They're drawing like comparisons how they've had parallel paths. Balor says that Neville's success has inspired him, but that is all superficial, and that they're both serious competitors, and that the title is the most important thing. He also talks for a bit about how the paint helps him channel the dark side of himself, and Neville says he
yeah.
won't be intimidated by the paint, and he'll get back up after losing the title, which plays in nicely to the entrances.
Yeah.
So yeah, Neville enters, he's got his shit, and then Balor again with the demon entrance. I was a little disappointed that the paint was the same because I know he mixes it up.
Hmm.
But I enjoyed Neville attempting to not be owned during the entrances.
Yeah. It's fun seeing. I think this is one of the first times we've really seen entrances play a role into the match.
Yeah,
Because I think prior to this, it's always just been like all right, let him hit his intro, and then we'll get into a match.
yeah.
But it's fun seeing
It,
that
it's part of
like
the character here for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Balor, um, like while he's entering and like crawling on the floor on the ramp, he like is like fucking hitting the cameras like a little fucking little bastard. I like that. And then
yeah.
this time he hits the pose in the corner to the lights, which he didn't last time, I don't believe. And then that was a nice addition. Neville doing the nonchalant gimmick. He's like, I don't fucking care that he's the demon. I'm fucking Neville, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if it's just because of the mood I'm in recently, and I recently saw the Spider-Man movie, but the demon paint really reminded me of Venom. Um,
Yeah.
and I was
It,
like,
it's
yeah,
it's funny you should mention that. One of the reviews I saw while I was looking things up for
mm-hmm,
this was somebody being like, "Yeah, he should do Venom paint. Like,
yeah,
he's close enough to it. He should just go full in for it." And I was like,
yeah.
"That would be sick." And then the rest of their comment was, "He should also do Joker paint." And then I was
All
like,
right.
"What? Well, okay."
Yeah, I know he gets creative
uh,
soon, especially when they start, going to different places. I won't spoil what he does, but like he does kind of some location-based stuff that's interesting. Um,
okay.
so we get into the match. Neville overpowers Balor early, and like it's kind of a dick measuring contest between the two. Balor hits a shoulder block, and Neville kips up to show that he's fucking as legit. Um, cool sequence where Neville rolls to the outside after a drop kick. Balor looks to try and dive, um, but then he gets like a drop kick, and then like we're doing this thing where both of them are trying to fucking like roll out, roll in. Neville
Yeah.
like hits a elbow and then hits a springboard drop kick to prevent Balor from hitting his dive over the top. Huge drop kick to Balor while Balor tries to hit a springboard and he crashes on the apron that looks like it sucked.
Yeah.
Neville like grabs Balor over the top rope for a suplex and holds him in the air to again gain more points in the dick measuring contest. But finally, after the back and forth, Balor hits an enziguri off the top rope to Neville, sends him to the outside, and he hits his dive to the outside to NXT chants. Fans really into this match.
Yeah, I I thought both the Neville spilling to the outside and the dive looked like it hurt both of them horribly.
Really,
Like
really fucking good spot too after that because Neville goes to the outside after at one point to
yeah,
gather breath, and Balor stalks him and he hits a fucking missile, fucking laser drop kick through the barricade.
through yeah, and I mean, not only like he's Neville is crawling away. And like Finn's in full like demon mindset playing into that like intro getting into his mind
Yeah.
and then followed up with like uh, at least for me, I think the drop kick through the barricade was spot of the match,
Oh yeah,
maybe
that was
spot of
really
the
sick.
night.
Yeah, that was
Because
sick.
like like you said,
Yeah.
it looked like he had the energy that someone would go in for a spear, but drop kicking into it. Like it
Yeah,
killed.
he went for that shit. Rolls Neville back in, hits a coup de grace to the back of the neck for a near fall. That looks like it's a
Yeah.
precarious between like awesome looking spot that's pretty safe and oh fuck your neck's broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Balor looks for a 1916. Neville escapes, hits some kicks, but he whiffs the last one. Balor hits a Pele kick. Neville though gathers himself, hits his own super kick to get a double down. I enjoyed how the commentators here were pointing out how, like, oh, Balor hit the Pele kick, but it looks like he only got him on the shoulder, and that's why Neville was able to
Yeah.
stay up. That I thought that was really good detail. I don't know if that was intentional by them. Maybe you just missed, but good job in incorporating it into the story.
Yeah.
Neville hits a fuck off huge German suplex later too. I'm like, God damn, this little guy's strong.
Yeah. No, Neville's suplexes throughout this whole match, like, they had the perfect amount of air and slam into them that they just, like, it really sold him. Because, like, prior to this, we've only ever seen him, like, mainly doing, like, top rope moves.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing him hit some, like, this looked like powerhouse suplexes.
For sure.
It was crazy, yeah.
Neville then, really funny to me. Like, he, like, lays Balor out under the, like, rope, and the commentary goes, oh, you know what he's thinking here, and they, like, for sure think he's about to hit the red arrow, and instead he just hits a middle rope Phoenix splash, and they're like, oh shit, never mind. That was a great spot. Neville, gets hit with the sling blade. I always love when Balor hits a sling blade. Yeah. Balor, huge lariat. Neville flip bumps off of it, hits a 1916 for a 2.9 count. Awesome spot too. Balor looks for the coup de grace. Neville grabs him while he's on the ropes, hits an enziguri, plants him on the ground to hit a red arrow. Balor gets up and ducks, hits a big kick, but then Neville gets him again, looks for the red arrow, but Balor gets his knees up and rolls him up. Yeah. And I thought that could have been the finish, but he kicks out. And then finally, Balor hits a shotgun drop kick into the corner, hits the coup de grace, he wins, and he is the number 1 contender.
Yeah, I mean...
Fantastic match.
You could tell they were working with each other great. Like, even the counters to the red arrow felt like they were coming up at the last possible second to really sell, like...
Yeah.
Just barely getting it in. Yeah.
I loved the kind of counter wrestling aspect of this match, especially after in the video package they put over how well they know each other and how their careers have paralleled. It really made sense from the story perspective to me. And I also liked how the match itself then kind of builds around who's going to be able to hit their top rope move.
Yeah,
it's
definitely a top rope battle.
And, Itami and Balor debut similar points in time. Itami's stock looking kind of Balor, he's doing fucking great. He's really killing it so far. He's got a lot of momentum. I also love with Balor, his face paint at the end of the match is like kind of basically off, and it looks really sick.
Yeah.
And then after the match,
I'm a sucker for any wrestler with face paint because of that. Like, it slowly comes off through the match, and especially in ones like this where they're doing so much shit in such a tight space and timing.
Yes.
It just looks great. But after the match, you were saying?
Well, yeah, after the match, the fans chant, hug it out. Neville shakes Balor's hand and exits. And Neville exits to thank you, Neville chants, because that is our final Neville match on NXT Takeover.
I'll say it. Neville had a bit where, like, post-championship, he was dropping in my mind. I feel like this and his Sami match were fantastic send-offs. Like,
yeah, he ends up in a really good spot. I think, with the Sami feud, he began to add an edge, and I think that was really helpful for his character. And if you look at where he is now, it's like all fucking edge, and he's, the bastard. But, I won't tell you the full story, but, as a little teaser, we're both thinking of doing kind of like a top 5 list thing when we finish up the Full Sail exclusive takeover era. And Neville, he's tickling my top 5. I won't tell you where he is or
Yeah.
where he's going to end up, but I really appreciate his work in NXT. He
He'll
debuts
be
March 30th. He's gone after this.
yeah. He'll be number 2 right under CJ Parker for best wrestlers of the Full Sail era.
Well, that doesn't make sense because then he'd have to be above Bull Dempsey.
I'm a huge fan of the idea of putting out the worst dog shit list of number 1 CJ Parker, number 2 Bull Dempsey, number
Don't
3 and 4 the Lucha Dragons.
don't make me add don't make me add a worst wrestler list to our agenda. I will do it. But yeah, this is Neville Swanson in NXT, like I said, and his career to me is one of the more confounding in WWE because this last match happens in February 2015. He's going to be out of the company in 2017. 2 and some years change. He leaves October 2017, and the story of his WWE career is really interesting to me. He debuts on the main roster, and they kind of neuter him, in my opinion. And on his debut, he's out and he's wearing a cape and he's being like a superhero, like the man that Gravity forgot. They've like turned that into his whole character, really. He's wearing a cape. He wears like purple and shit. And his kind of main roster highlight is he gets into it. He has a world title match against Seth Rollins on Raw, which has one of the more famous finishes and one of the best executed finishes I've ever seen, where he hits the red arrow on Rollins and he looks like he's going to win the championship, which no one expects. He was never built as that kind of top guy. But he hits the red arrow, and when he lifts Rollins' leg to pin him, Rollins' leg starts touching the rope but over his, like, behind his head. And so he gets the rope break after the 3 count, like people think he won. It's like one of the most inspired finishes, honestly, I've ever seen. It was on a random Raw, in kind of like a nothing match. But yeah, so he's there, and then he gets thrown into the cruiserweight division. He is there for a bit. He ends up turning heel. And running, he runs with the gimmick, the King of the Cruiserweights, which I really enjoyed. He's just like this fucker who's fucking, terrorizing the Cruiserweight division. That's when you had 205 Live had its own TV show.
Okay.
And he's running it, and the problem they run into is that they have no other cruiserweights that are good. And so he's holding the title forever. And in 2017, he on an October episode of Raw 2017, he gets told he's going to lose to Enzo Amore. And he walks out and he quits the company.
Yeah.
Enzo was gonna beat him in a non-title match. He's like, "Fuck this shit." And so
honestly, I don't blame him.
So that happens, and so like the story is, according to Wrestling Observer, Neville, he walks in, he hears he's gonna lose to Enzo in a non-title match. He walks out, and apparently it was a last-second decision by Vince, and he said. And it was said that he made that decision because nobody could come up with a better idea at the last minute. So he walks out, and they just put the title on Kalisto.
Okay.
It all comes back. But yeah, he walks out of the company. He's done from there, and then he becomes Pac. His departure. His contract, he walks out, his contract gets frozen because of all this. He doesn't leave officially and get to wrestle somewhere else until 2018. And that means he's only 4 months away from the formation of All Elite Wrestling, and he becomes one of the first signees to AEW in January 2019, one of the first announced people. And, he becomes an integral part of AEW and still is to this day with the Death Riders. In 2019, he was integral because he was their first match. The first match he has is with Hangman Adam Page. And they had a whole feud going on and stuff, and it goes great. So, yeah, Pac ends up all right, but in a completely different form than we see him in NXT at any point.
I'm just happy that he kind of gets the limelight he deserves, because it always felt like Adrian Neville was kind of coasting in the... Even though he's the champion, it kind of feels
he was the champion.
underwhelming.
He was the champion, but Sami was always the main character of NXT,
Yeah, but I know, like, when he's in AEW as
Pac.
Okay.
I always
when
said Pac, and then I was wrong.
when he's there as Pac-Man, I know kind of from, like, the scattered knowledge I know of wrestling that he has, like, a pretty dang good run.
Oh, he's doing great there.
It's pretty... Yeah.
I mean, he was in Death Triangle. He's been... he was in Death Riders now, but he's a former All-Atlantic champion there, 2-time Trios champion. He gets his accolades there, far more than he was getting in WWE. So yeah, great for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leading into this next match, because it's the women's Fatal 4-Way,
Mm-hmm.
I want to... Going into this, who were you rooting to, like, take the belt on this?
Oh, at this point in time, I'm a Sasha fan. I'm cultured. I don't know what your opinions are.
I was ride or die with Becky Lynch. I know the commentators were saying that she kind of only was in this match because she threw a match for, I think, Charlotte Flair.
Well, yeah, so, the lead up into this is, basically Charlotte has been dominant in her NXT women's title reign. She's beaten everybody, who's taken her on, says she's the greatest athlete in the game, but, there's been a lot of messes recently in her title defenses, people interfering, all 4 of these people basically getting involved in each other's business. And on the Go Home episode, Regal sets up the Fatal 4-Way because he was like, you all can't stay out of each other's ways, so we're just going to fucking do this, all of you in one. Becky had interfered in Sasha's title match at one point, and then Bayley comes to save Charlotte, clears the ring, but then Charlotte disrespects Bayley, and Bayley gives her a Bayley to belly. So it's like all these people kind of hate each other at this point. So like the character beats in this promo package we hit is like Charlotte's the greatest athlete, nobody better competing than her. Sasha says she knows how to beat her because she beat her once, and she's the baddest diva in the game. And she's beat all of them, she says. Bayley says she has no friends in this match, so it'll be easier. And then Becky said some bullshit. I don't really know. She was less relevant.
I will say, I think Becky in the promo had the weakest
There's no material,
speaking.
really.
I think, honestly, Sasha was ripping it apart, like...
As she always does.
She, like, every time it would switch to her, I was like, oh shit, what's about to be said?
Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the package, Charlotte says her reign isn't luck. It's natural selection. Yeah! um, but yeah, and that leads us to the match. Bailey comes out first, and she's got the tube men. And the commentary says she's looking for her Sami Zayn moment, which is probably apt. Next, Banks comes out, Bailey staring her down. I wanted to ask you a question. I had just thought about this.
Yeah.
Are you aware that Sasha Banks has a very famous cousin?
No.
Did you know
Wait, can I
Sasha
take
Banks?
one?
Yeah, one guess.
Can
Guess,
I
guess,
take
guess.
a pot guess?
Yeah.
Is to give me a little bit of like a border.
Yeah.
Is it a famous wrestling cousin or a
No,
famous
no.
like?
No, famous
Okay.
person. Just a famous person. Famous musician.
Is it Fred Durst?
Very close. She's relatives with Snoop Dogg.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, at
Okay,
WrestleMania, a year from this point in time, at WrestleMania, Snoop Dogg will rap over her entrance music. It's a really sick moment. But I just remembered that maybe you don't know that, and I wanted to introduce that to you.
I'm shocked I got as close as I did with Fred Durst. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it
that's
could
sick.
be yours.
Yeah, it could be
Becky,
Durst.
put that on a t-shirt. Becky,
Merch coming soon.
Becky
Yeah.
comes out third. She's the wild card of the match, according to commentary. They're saying she doesn't deserve it. Corey says there's nothing authentic about her as a human.
Yeah, they were ripping her to shreds.
I was like, what the fuck? And to be fair, Becky Lynch, in my opinion, first of all, she's not in Irish Lass Kicker mode yet, but I don't really think she finds her thing until she becomes the man, really, until her feud with Charlotte in like 2018. And I think right now the impression I get is she's trying to fit the mold of like an American wrestler, and not necessarily being authentic to herself. And she finds that later, and she becomes one of the all-time greats. But here, like, even down to her gear, it's like, I'm looking at her, I'm like, this doesn't feel like Becky Lynch.
I mean,
And maybe that's me,
as someone who doesn't know, like, I know these are legends that I am seeing, but I don't know quite their final form. Mm-hmm. It's a feeling of, like, something about Becky Lynch. I just got the vibe of, like, well, Charlotte, I know, is going for more of a, like, amazing presence heel. Sasha Banks is going for the boss. Bailey is going for the more friendly type. Oddly enough, it felt like Becky Lynch was the most authentic, because it felt like someone coming out here just to kick ass. Like,
I mean, I will say this is a lot of my stuff is impressions of her like character before the match. I think in the match she's very good.
yeah, well, no.
But I was just thinking from a
yeah.
presentation standpoint was kind of my thoughts.
No,
but yeah,
no.
I
Yeah.
get you. Interesting to hear your perspective on that. And then finally Charlotte comes out. And I can't really tell if she's getting booed or wooed. I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think she's not the most popular in this matchup. I think Bailey and Banks are both more popular than her to this audience. But I don't think it's that people straight up dislike her, but they just like the others more.
Well, and I also think it's a matter of, like, people are ready to see the belt
Yeah.
in other
She's had
hands
it for a while.
to let, like,
and
new matches.
It's also like, you know, Paige was the first champ, and she held it for like nearly a year, and then she had to vacate the belt. And then Charlotte gets it, and she's had it for a long time now. And there's probably something in the back of their minds where it's like, oh, fucking Vince is going to fucking call her up, and they're going to make her fucking vacate the belt too, and no one's going to fucking win the title off of anyone ever in the women's division.
Yeah.
Because, you know...
Well, and I feel like there's something also to the fact of, like, realistically going into this, you knew the belt was probably going to go to Bailey or Banks. Like, it felt like it would be weird for Flair to keep it, and
Well,
like
and
the
guess what?
commentators
I
were
mean,
leading on.
spoiler alert, the direction we're headed in the long term and what becomes one of the kind of biggest NXT feuds ever is Bayley versus Banks. So, like,
Yeah.
I think the division's moving away from her at this point. Not because she's doing anything wrong necessarily, but just because it's kind of, we've run out of stories.
Yeah. But like I feel like it's also setting up the like Bailey is such a baby face in this moment, and Banks is such a heel. Well, Flair is still sitting in like a mostly heel state that people are ready for it to be held by like a definitive one side or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's part of why, like, even going into this, I wanted Becky Lynch to win. I doubted she was going to be able to because it didn't feel like it would have the same pop as Banks or Bailey getting it.
Yeah, and Banks wins this match, and to me, it's coming off of her performance in the Charlotte match from last Takeover. I'm like all aboard that. She really deserves it to me.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, so yeah, this match is phenomenal. It is my match of the night to
Yeah.
me. And I love
Agreed.
Balor Neville. I loved Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. Maybe I think more than the consensus on that. We'll get to that later. But this match is really fucking good. And it's, I mean, you don't know it at the time, but it's the four horsewomen in a fatal four-way match. It's a historical moment, and they really make it count, even though they didn't know, they weren't thinking about it like we're doing a historical moment right now. But like, man, this match spotlights each of the four of them so well. In
I
the
mean,
same way that at Takeover Fatal Four Way, that Fatal Four Way, it felt like everybody like had time to shine. This one,
yeah.
while I think I probably prefer that match just a little more, this one I think did a better job of giving everybody a moment.
Yeah, I there was just spot after spot. It felt like in some matches you'll see like it starts slow, ramps into the big
Mm-hmm.
spots. This felt like coming out of the gate, nothing but like A plus material, and it never let up. Like,
Yeah.
but it didn't feel like you were struggling to pay attention because so much was happening. Like it
Mm-hmm.
had breath to let each moment hit wonderfully, and like the storylines, you could feel it in how they wrestled. It was just fantastic. Like,
Yeah. So we start
yeah.
the match, and basically the story of the start of the match is Becky and Sasha are working together.
Hmm.
Like Charlotte goes after Bayley to start, and then Lynch and Banks just work together and beat the shit out of both of them at different points. Really early on, Sasha and Becky throw Charlotte into the ring apron, and they break the LED board,
Yeah.
which
It, I,
rules.
I'm a sucker anytime that happens, seeing
Mm-hmm.
it uh, mess up. It's an amazing look.
Yeah.
And prior to that, Becky and Sasha hit a double lariat,
Yes.
which looked great. Unfortunately, Bailey was in front of the camera, so you couldn't
Ah,
see the
yeah.
impact of it. But amazing,
Happens.
regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we get some Bailey's gonna hug you chants, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Heels like throw Bailey into the turnbuckles, and then they both try and pin her. Sasha and Becky both try and pin Bailey at the same time,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Wait a minute." And Becky's the one who pulls the trigger first on Sasha, and she hits a huge pump handle suplex, sending her
Yeah.
out of the ring.
Crazy looking.
I've
Yeah.
always said, I mean, I think she's still good at this today, but an aspect of Sasha Banks that I've always loved, and I think is especially prevalent in her early WWE era, is that she is the wrestler with the greatest ragdoll physics.
Yeah.
Because she gets like thrown, and she legitimately just is like, always looks like she's flailing in like Maximum Impact.
I mean, you couldn't want anything more. Like, she made any move during this match look like it hit like a missile.
So yeah, Becky is in charge, bossing the ring for a bit. Gets a like leg lock submission on Bayley, but Banks breaks it up, goes after Becky. Banks looks for the double knees in the corner on Becky, and she dodges it, hits a top rope drop kick. Charlotte has to break up the pin. Charlotte takes control. Yeah.
Around this time, also, the commentator said something wild that Sheamus tweeted the Irish are coming.
Yeah.
Because Balor won
Irish
his match. And yeah. And
yeah.
I just kind of like
That's
it was such a weird moment because like nothing but gas, and then that moment just felt like I was like slowed for a second in confusion and then kept going.
The era of social media pushes. I also enjoyed, I forgot to mention it, but during Finn Balor's entrance, they plugged that you can get his music on iTunes.
Yeah, no,
which
every time
I'm proud
a
to
song
say
appears,
I did back in the day.
It takes me to such a whiplash, like the scene in Ratatouille with Anton Ego, hearing like you can get it on iTunes, because. Sorry for interrupting the match.
No, who cares?
The only thing I've ever bought on iTunes was season 1 of Fanboy and Chum Chum, which is so stupid.
This dates us.
Yeah. God.
That's really good.
Yeah. Anyways,
yeah. So Charlotte takes control of the match. Hits a huge neckbreaker on Sasha. Then hits a rope assisted neckbreaker on Becky. Sasha, I love this moment. Charlotte goes for the spear on Sasha, and Sasha just like throws her into Becky while she's in midair. Like, you take it. And then Bayley is kind of in this match. She kind of plays the role of just like, if she get in, she could do some damage, but she keeps getting kind of dumped out. But while she's in, awesome spot where Charlotte does a wheelbarrow and then Bayley hits a code breaker at the same time. Great spot. Then she gets sent outside. Another awesome spot. It's awesome spot after awesome spots. But Sasha looks for the double knees on Charlotte in the corner. Becky interferes, and then Sasha's like, "Yeah, fuck you," and she puts her on the bottom rope and hits the double knees onto both of them.
And then goes to pin them and is screaming like beautifully.
Yeah, she tries to pin both of them multiple times and is like somehow confused on both of these. She's like, "How are they kicking out?" I literally did a cool thing.
That double stomp in the corner is in contention for my spot of the match. The next one is closer to the end, so I'll mention it when we get there. But...
Well, yeah, so like she freaks out because she tries to cover both of them and doesn't win. And because she freaks out for so long, Bayley gets back in and suplexes her. Bayley, multiple corner elbows to Charlotte, and then gets a Bayley Canrana off the top rope, which is pretty great. Hits the Bayley belly, but Becky pulls her off and just drags her out the fucking ring. But then Bayley hits a sliding kick through the bottom rope on the outside to Lynch. But all of that is to actually set up Sasha Banks doing a reckless dive to the outside onto Lynch and Bayley. She just fucking torpedoes when she goes to the outside. Yeah. It's really fucking sick.
And as you're in the recovery... and as you're in the recovery of like, oh my god, what just happened? Right as they stand up, Charlotte's diving over onto all three of them.
Yeah, I really love this character moment because like Sasha hits that shit and it's so impressive, and then Charlotte, just is like staring down all three of them, like she's kind of reckoning with the fact that the division is like really fucking sick right now, and it's not gonna be as easy as she thinks. And yeah, she hits a crossbody onto all of them. And then I think a really interesting, crucial moment in the match, she like dives onto all three of them, and then she's looking and she's like, "I'm gonna pick up Becky and throw her into the ring." I think she's like, "I'm gonna take my odds on Becky that she's the one I can beat." But Becky was not out of it, and she hits an exploder suplex. Becky looks to go off the top rope, but Bayley gets involved, hits some Germans, hits a German on Becky. Bayley hits a top rope, Bayley to belly,
Yeah.
and she
Crazy
looks to
looking.
pin Charlotte, and then Sasha pulls her out, and Sasha tries to pin Charlotte, and she kicks out. I thought that could have been the finish. Sasha is pulling a more in universe like respected Tyler Breeze in this match.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sasha like throws her out, tries to pin Charlotte, it doesn't work, but then gets the bank statement in on Charlotte. But like Becky and Bayley get up, they're gonna meddle with it, and she just stops, fucking deals with both of them. Charlotte crawls to the ropes in the bank statement. She's wrenching on her, but then Banks just takes it into a crucifix pin, wins. Sasha Banks is the new NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah. I mean, fantastic match. Like you were saying halfway through, it's just amazing spot after spot. Everyone gets their moment, and I like there's sometimes you watch a match and you're like, I don't know if this could have gone better. Genuinely, I don't know if I would have, like, in a perfect world of being able to change any aspect of this, the only thing I would have changed about this is making it the main event. Like,
Yeah, we'll get into that for a bit. I do think
Yeah.
this is the best match on the show. I still would have the main event be the main event, even though I think
yeah.
it's worse. But I get completely what you're saying, and it's like they really need to have the women main event a takeover. They could have done it this time. They honestly could have done it, like, if in my kind of dream world or whatever. I think I would have kind of pushed the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn thing down the road a little bit, and
Yes, yeah.
have the turn happen tonight or something, and maybe like I don't know. It doesn't really work because it works as Kevin's like debuting and right as Sammy wins the title, so I don't know if I'm right there, but it's just like this match feels too big to not be the main event. Yeah.
I agree with the sentiment of, like, I would not replace the Kevin versus Sammy main event with this. I would either make the turn happen later down the road, like you said, or do like a filler match with Kevin and Sammy, whether that's like
Or like you do.
they're on opposing tag teams or something to give it one more pay-per-view.
Or you like make this show like Charlotte versus Becky to like complete like the takeovers of all of them, and then next show it happens. But yeah, awesome match. Really loved it. I think Banks winning is the right move here. I think it opens up the most possibilities for them from a story perspective. They all have great chemistry with each other. The Four Horsemen are the Four Horsewomen for a reason. After the match, Charlotte offers a handshake to Sasha. And I love this because I think it was a really good mix of like giving her a moment to do like something out of character, like acknowledge it in like a real human moment, but then she brings it back because Charlotte offers a handshake and then Sasha hugs her instead, and then she like shoves her, woos, and struts off, and it's really fucking funny.
Yeah. It was the perfect level of, like, I'm here for you as one wrestler to another, but also, woo!
Yeah. And so that leads us to the main event of the evening, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens in a grudge match for the NXT Championship. Now, we know we left off last show at NXT Our Evolution with Kevin Owens shockingly slamming Sami Zayn into the ramp and powerbombing him on the ring apron. Best friends have been torn apart. And the story since has been a continuation, and it's kind of an explanation. Kevin Owens, said his plan at Our Evolution worked perfectly. Sami says he teared up at Owens' debut match. And Owens says he was as excited for his debut as he was for Sami Zayn versus Neville. And what I love about it is that he's not being sarcastic at all. He means that. This is not a match that is about Kevin Owens hates Sami Zayn. He turns on Sami Zayn because he has what he needs. He's a prize fighter. He's fighting for the NXT Championship because that means more money for him. That means he can feed his family. Kevin's like, Sami doesn't have a family. He doesn't understand what I do. And Kevin is proving that he will do whatever it takes to be champion. He's not going to be sappy about it. He said, and it's like so interesting because in this promo he said he was happy for Sami to win and that he still is. And that's after like beating the shit out of him.
I mean, one of my favorite lines from Kevin from this is I waited for 14 years. I'm not going to be in the back of the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's real good justified heel work. Like, it's not just like, I'm evil because I'm evil. It's like, I did the same shit he did. I'm not going to fucking wait around. I'm going to fucking take what's mine. And guess what? It works. Because Owens is talking about, like, he says he's happy for saying, and he is. But you see hints of, like, the jealousy when he says, Kevin says he's been to all the places Sami brags about, but they called Sami first. And then Sami's like, we were on the same path, and then Kevin got married, and so he fell behind. Sami on, like, a low-key incel angle there, but that's fine. And then kind of the story leading into the match is Sami is like telling Regal that he won't wrestle unless it's Owens. And Kevin comes up to Sami and he's like, hey, I'm only going to wrestle you for the title. I'm the prize fighter. I only fight for money and gold. So the match is made a championship match. And it is 2 months to the day after his debut, and he guarantees he will win the title. So before we get into this match, I have a comment about something that is a pattern with NXT now, and it's a note that I would change. So you get the shot backstage of Kevin Owens. They've done this for the past couple main events, where they main event people, they show them backstage like warming up, and they have like this dramatic music happening, and then the music hits. And the way that it doesn't really work for Kevin Owens because I think the cameras are not synced up live, so like when his music hits, it's like overlapping and it's like not quite right. But that's not my note. That's just something I noticed. I think this company is afraid of what I would do, which is they have like this kind of corny dramatic music. I want them to be in silence. I just want them to be backstage warming up in silence. And the reason I want this is because Owens enters here, blah, blah, blah. And Sami Zayn is there with dramatic music. And I would just have killed if he's warming up back there and we see him warming up while Kevin's music is playing. And then silence, and then his music. Those beats seem so much more fulfilling to me than like dun 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 dun, and I'm like, I get it. Like, these two don't need that.
I was gonna say, especially for like this match, I feel like it speaks way more if I saw, like, throughout the show we haven't mentioned it as much, but Regal's been like talking to both of them, and we've seen shots through the night. If we saw them just before the match standing or like cracking their neck in dead silence with a look of like,
I am
about to go out there and
It
like,
wouldn't be
I'm
dead
going to go
silence. It
out
would be
there.
the crowd
Yeah,
making noise.
exactly. Like, I want that live, like, if they crack their neck, you hear it. With the look of, I'm about to go out there and kill somebody I consider my brother
And
on both of them.
yeah,
That would heighten it to the
and
ninth degree.
I'm not even gonna say names because I don't want to spoil you, but they do figure this out for later, in takeovers in a couple years' time. Because I won't say it because I want it to be a surprise, but there's a
Samoa Joe
wrestler.
does it.
There's a wrestler who turns on somebody or whatever, and they have a main event match or whatever, and he enters and he doesn't use music. And it's like
That's so
I'm
tough.
not saying they don't use music here. I don't think that's what they should do, but I am saying you can let the crowd do
Yeah.
work for you. You don't have to control everything.
Well, and
Yeah.
like we mentioned earlier in this episode, as people who have acting backgrounds, I think a large part of what draws me personally to wrestling is the audience. I don't think the audience should dictate shows. I am firmly against that. But I think they are a tool that wrestlers should use both for getting energy up, whether it be for like slamming into their arena to get like a chant going, whether it's responding to the energy they are giving you, because part of what makes this entertainment so different from all the others like it is you can have a crowd cheering and chanting and make a show feel like it is WrestleMania just because of how much an audience loves a wrestler. I mean, that's
Exactly.
what happened for um Brian Davidson. Is that the right name?
Brian Danielson. Yes.
Danielson, sorry.
You're fine.
But like his whole push, from what I know, is because the
Yeah.
audience was
It's the yes
so
movement.
into him that he had such an energy that I feel like part of what makes modern WWE feel so phoned in is when you do have big pops, the most I've seen responding to it is playing Jey Uso's
Yeet.
intro music 4 times
Let's
in a row.
run
Which,
it back, and I hate that. It's funny because it's like I
yeah,
want more audience interaction. I'm like, not like that.
but that's why, like, I feel like it's a very fine line of like you can't be over reliant on it and choose your champions based on the audience, because I do not think the audience always knows what is best, and I
What they
think
want.
surprising the audience is important because that's what we saw the pop of, like Kevin Owens betraying Sami. It hit because no one in the audience knew that it was coming.
Yes.
But that's playing to them. That
Or
is
like,
playing
and it
to
was
they don't know this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a mix between you don't want to like do stuff that's so out of left field that the audience doesn't connect with it, but you want to it all makes sense. It all fits with it's justified. But yeah, when Sammy's music hits too, I will say after crapping on it a little bit, Sammy's music hits and Owens gives like the best look in the ring. Kevin Owens, I
Yeah.
love Sami Zayn. He's one of my favorites of all time. Kevin Owens is probably in my like top 10 wrestlers ever. I love his work so much. Also, by the way, Brian Danielson's in my top 5. I have to educate you on him a little bit. I'll send you some clips.
All right.
He's one of the best to ever do it, but that's fine. But like Kevin Owens, I think is one of the greatest modern era wrestlers ever at seamlessly integrating character into his wrestling.
Yeah.
He always has a perspective on what he's doing in the ring.
Well, and I feel like that's what, in my eyes, makes a good wrestler is they feel alive. Like they're not
He
like
feels like a
Bull
guy.
Dempsey. If something goes wrong, it's like, I gotta follow the pattern. I gotta stick to script. They have their own opinions about every little thing. Like if the audience is cheering for Sami, are they frowning? Are they like giving a CM Punk like, yeah, all right, cheer for him? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's like
yeah,
like that's part of the experience of working on the indies that I think makes guys like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn so much better than like your Bull Dempseys. But like, it's like funny because like a big thing when Kevin Owens gets on the main roster is like he gets immediately into a feud with John Cena or whatever, and Cena's like, this new guy or whatever, you can't, you get back to the back line or whatever. But it's like Kevin Owens debuted in 2000, John Cena debuted in 1999. It's not that Kevin Owens has less experience than any number of the guys on the main roster. He's just been doing it somewhere else. He's in the developmental show right now, but really he's a seasoned ring veteran who is just on like a more prominent stage than he's ever had before.
Well, and I feel like part of what the indies bring is being able to find that connection to the audience and your character so much more intimately than WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Because of
like, and without least, like the railroad tracks that you have to stay on, right? Like,
well, like especially during the Vince reign of you have to fit this gimmick, and if I don't like it, I am changing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, at least for the audience portion, it is hard to learn that in like the performance center.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard to learn staying in character in a gym. That's something you have to have a feel for. And I think partially that's why I love Tyler Breeze as much as I do.
Yes.
Is because he is never dropping character.
No. For sure.
Yeah.
He's one of the best to do it in this era.
Yes.
Ring intros happen. They're staring each other down through it. Bell rings and there's dueling chants happening while they're staring down. And the dueling chants are so funny to me because they're like dueling chants, but it feels like everybody's chanting for both of them.
Yeah. It never feels like one side's stronger because every single person is just cheering both sides. It's great.
And it's so great because the audience is getting so ramped up into it. And Kevin Owens, before there's any contact, just rolls to the outside. And he's like, nope, not doing it yet. And then he like uses as much of his count of the 10 count as possible. He gets back in, and he just goes to the outside again. And that was great. I was like, that's so fucking funny. And the ref starts arguing with Kevin Owens. He's like, get the fuck back in here. And that just like distracts him. And Sami Zayn dives over the top of the referee onto Kevin Owens on the outside. Yeah. And this match starts in anger. Great way to get it going. Great way for both of them to kind of win in their own ways early. Zayn is like fired up, hitting the shit out of him in the corner, but eventually Owens stacks him onto the turnbuckle, hits a fucking big old fucking clothesline in the corner, and Sami just like bounces the fuck up. Like he hits like a couple of them, and like Sami's like bouncing in the air off of these corner clotheslines. Sami Zayn, you can tell these two are good friends because they make each other look really good. They are great
Sami
partners.
Has amazing sells during this match. Like after the corner clotheslines, Kevin Owens hits a chop, and Sami like falls back into like almost a bridge because it knocked him back so much, and it looked like it looked like a Great Khali level chop. Even though I know Kevin Owens has the ability to like pull it, it still had that effect of like hit like a cinder block.
Yeah, I'm afraid of how much you put over Great Khali, if I'm honest.
Well, I'm not putting him over. I'm saying he is somebody who does not hold his chops, from what I've heard.
Now that's for true.
Yeah.
We get, like, it's really interesting because he's very new. But, like, there's, like, the beginnings of Owens fight chants, which is very funny because that's a PG-ification of Kill Steen Kill, which was his indie thing, which was a play on Kill Bill. So we're like 5 degrees removed from the origin of this phrase. and there's like some kill Owens kill like
Yeah.
Owens starts doing some holds on Sami, cutting off comebacks. Zayn powers up, comes back for a second, but Owens slingshots him off the top rope, and he keeps the upper hand. I wrote that Sami has his gravity setting turned down whenever he takes bumps because he like hangs in the air for a while.
Yeah.
Owens finally he like dumps Sami on the outside, chops him, and like he's like posing and shit, just very nice. Sami eventually finally gets the clotheslines, big comeback, dumps him outside, hits a blue thunder bomb for a near fall, which was pretty good. Owens hits Zayn in the fucking chin while he's going for a haluva kick, which is pretty sick, and then he hits a cannonball, which I always love that move because it's like a
Yeah.
fuck you die move. Owens hits a fisherman's knee buster for a kick out, which the commentators were really like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. They were like, what is that move even called?
Yeah, and I was like, that's a fisherman's knee buster. Half and half suplex by Sami Zayn. Owens kicks out. These two know each other so well.
Yeah.
Sami catches Owens on the top rope and looks to hit the top rope brainbuster, but Owens headbutts him off. Owens goes for a swanton bomb, but Sami gets the knees up on the back, and that looked like it sucked for both of them.
Yeah.
It's like, obviously Kevin Owens is a heavy person, but I also think independent of that, like, knees up on the abs, I feel like is less bad than on the back, because I feel like whenever the knees up happen on like the stomach, they can like brace themselves a little bit, and like obviously by like tensing their muscles, but also like by landing like, a little more on their knees or whatever. But like Kevin Owens just eats that shit to the back, and Sami Zayn just eats all of the weight onto his knees because there's no way to stop that shit.
Yeah, and also hitting it on the abs, your body naturally will curve around them knees.
Yes.
Well, like, to the back, it's just going to, like, there's no way it can't suck.
Exactly. So Owens charges at Zayn in the corner, but Sami hits a corner exploder suplex, tries for the haluva kick, but Owens just goes to the outside. On the outside, Sami starts chasing him, who lures him in to try and hit an apron powerbomb. But Sami catches the ropes when he gets lifted up for the powerbomb and hits the Arabian press, and that looked like it sucked for everybody. Actually, it looked mostly like it sucked for Sami. He hits the shit out of his head on that NXT steel ramp.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he, going for that, hits his head so hard on the steel ramp that, like, it cuts his head a bit.
Yeah,
Because I
something
was
happens.
noticing, like, blood in his hair later into the match.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, but he got fucked up from that shit.
Yeah.
But it kind of plays perfectly into the story of the match, because once they get back inside, Sami looks for the haluva kick, but he kind of just stumbles out of the corner, and Kevin just goes over and hit him with a pop-up power bomb. Zayn just kicks out. Owens, like, on the attack, he's just fucking going after Sami. Sami looks kind of dead in the water. Ref is like pulling him off. Trainer comes down to check on Sami, but Owens grabs him, hits a powerbomb, second powerbomb, goes for the pin, and Sami just does the fucking, oh, it was so beautiful. Just the fucking weakest kick out possible. Just rolls over.
Yeah.
His kick outs in this match were so masterful. And he hits two power bombs, and then Sami just like rolls over. Docs continue checking on Sami. Owens grabs him. Third power bomb. Fourth power bomb. Ref pulls Owens off of him, and he rings the bell. Everybody's like, "What the fuck?" The audience doesn't really know how to react. Ref goes over, grabs the belt, hands it to Kevin Owens, and the audience all goes like, "Oh shit!" Kevin Owens is the new champion by referee stoppage.
Which,
What a bold finish to your show.
yeah. I mean,
Very
like,
courageous.
the fact that, like, at least in my time watching wrestling, I have not seen any other ref stoppages. Period. So much less getting the belt off of that, and then, like, the crowd reactions during these power bombs. I mean, like, you could feel the story being told
Yeah.
through this.
And part of the reason I really love this is that, through the match, people are like, I think, equally in support of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And not to say when Owens wins that he doesn't have a lot of support, but I think this is truly heelish for him and kind of
Yeah.
deconstructs the idea that he's purely a prize fighter and that he doesn't hate Sami Zayn at all. I think that challenges his character. And that's why I really love the finish. I think in some ways, like, I think it's not a perfect finish because like a pinfall is like very definitive and cathartic and the 1 2 3 that's it, and it's why I like submissions a little less sometimes because it's like the tap out is less compelling to me, but this I think
Yeah.
they make it work so well, and they pan to audience members who have their hands on their head. They're like shocked. It is bold, and it is something that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have wrestled a trillion times. This is something they never did. So I think
Yeah.
that is why it's such an awesome finish. And then like
About the
after the
finish, I
match,
also. Yeah,
oh
go on.
sorry, I was just gonna say, and then like they do a great job selling it too, because like the announcers go silent for like a long time too.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
not like overfilling the airwaves. Like they give this moment weight. So yeah,
Yeah. I was gonna say, looking at the reviews that I did for this, I saw, like, I didn't know how to feel about this end, because, like you said, it felt very narratively fulfilling, but I didn't know how I felt about it in terms of, like, settling who won. But I saw people comparing it to the, Brock Lesnar John Cena match,
yes, this SummerSlam
and
squash.
how similar this was, but how much more fulfilling this felt as a match. And then
Yeah, I
also,
mean this match it goes what 23 minutes here. So it's like it's
yeah,
not just like the Brock match was Brock takes over and he like kills Superman, that was it
yeah,
was a short match. This one is much more demonstrating the lengths that Kevin Owens will go to win.
exactly, yeah. And then I saw, also, apparently Sammy and Kevin, every time they have a match, they want it to be something they haven't done before, because they've had
Yes.
such a
They've
long
wrestled each other
history
so
with
long.
each other. And like you said, this, I feel like, is a perfect way of doing that, in that, like, it truly felt like everyone in the audience was experiencing something they had never seen before.
Yeah,
Not only
I
by
mean,
these two wrestlers, but in general.
yeah, I want to say this isn't the one, but I cite Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at Battleground 2016 as the wrestling match that it's not the match that got me into wrestling, but it's the one that kept me in wrestling. And it truly, when these two go at each other, it's always at a minimum good, usually great.
Yeah.
This finish did get kind of mixed reactions, but I think, especially for their first encounter, because they're not done with each other at this point, I think it is a great way to put over Owens as kind of this unstoppable heel, and
Yeah.
you know the rumors. It's not going to be true, but the rumors are like Sami Zayn's going to get called up soon, so it's kind of like insulating yourself from that. And ultimately, Kevin Owens, I think, had to win this match.
Agreed.
You can't have Sammy winning this and Kevin still look credible. And for an underdog babyface like Sami Zayn, it is the chase is always more interesting than the
The rain.
mountaintop, right? So like you get back to the interesting portion instead of going after Neville, though he's going after Kevin Owens. So I think it creates a much more interesting dynamic for him there. Yeah, I don't think. I think this match was very good. This isn't their peak, even aside from like the finish I really love, but it's the match itself, I feel like they're doing some legwork of like introducing their characters to a WWE audience that like
Yeah.
in the future they can just like ring the bell, start fucking punching each other. So it's
Yeah.
not my favorite match of theirs, but it is an awesome show from both of them. Is it the best match on the card? No. Will they in the future have the best match on the card whenever they face each other? Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
so yeah.
I will say, for tonight's pay per view, I did think that this was the second best match of the night, just because I'm a bit biased. Seeing the Four Horsemen fight, it's like seeing a textbook chapter be made in live time.
Well,
But this
I
match
even
had
put that number one.
story. Yeah, but like this match had such a story. This match had great spots, and like knowing a bit of the future context, I know every time I see Sami Zayn is fighting Kevin Owens, I'm going to be excited. I
Exactly.
know they are going to hit it out the park. It's not like if I see Adrian Neville versus Finn, I'm like, is it going to be like Neville hits the red arrow and the match is done in 4 minutes, or is it going to be a compelling back and forth? Going into this, seeing this as the main event, I knew it was something to be excited for.
Yeah. So yeah, and then just to wrap it up, after the match, Owens is tearing up while hoisting the title high. It's
Yeah.
really compelling because it's like a lot of times, a heel wins a title and they're like, "Ooh, I'm so cool, look at me." No, Owens is like, the dream has been realized. Sammy's getting attended to by the refs and doctors. Owens is like headbutting the fucking championship. He
Yeah.
lifts the title over a lifeless body of Sami Zayn. Show goes to black. I mean, just like a sick visual. And it's the type of thing that it's like, if I'm watching this live, there's approximately 0% chance I'm missing the next episode of NXT. I need to know what's happening.
100%. Like, I will say, I think NXT is starting to get into that golden zone of they know how to end a show. Because for a minute, it felt like, okay, the ending happened. I'm satisfied. They're always ending off on something that makes you want to come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is our show. What are your thoughts on this show as a whole?
I want to say think this is the best pay per view we've had yet, because I think it's in strong contention with Evolution.
Our evolution.
Our Evolution, yeah.
You forgot
Um,
about the dumb title.
but if anything, I think the anchor that is Bull Dempsey and Baron Corbin, not only their match, but I'll go as far to say them as wrestlers, as far as I've seen, hold the show back from being like a runaway number one contender. But I think the second half of the show is just so infinitely strong, and the opener was one of the better openers we've seen in a minute. That,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it is one of the stronger takeovers we've had. I wouldn't say the strongest, but it's certainly up there. The final three matches are all superb. I think it's kind of like match ordering is what like flow of the show is tough because those first three matches are all kind of like whatever. Like I feel like I'm looking back on it now, it's like Hideo Itami versus Tyler Breeze is like a little more egregious than I was thinking because, like you were talking about when we were talking about Sasha Banks in the Fatal Four Way, and you talked about Tyler Breeze, and I was like, it feels like not only does Hideo Itami kind of like he's not really excelling in that match, I also feel like the presentation of Tyler Breeze, aside from the entrance and stuff, which was fantastic, but like in the match, I feel like he has had a bit of a regression since the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah.
Where he was kind of like the whole point of that, and some of his stuff with like Neville throughout time is like, oh, he's proved that he's more than like a pretty face, right? And it's like, I feel like it's just like this match was a little just like bare bones for him, like not getting that character progression. So like to me, the first 3 matches all have significant problems, and then the final 3 matches are all significant successes. And in the end, that kind of puts it up to the upper half, but not necessarily my favorite. So yeah, I think very good show. Just, you gotta rough around the edges.
Yeah, it's definitely, we're still coming out of that, like, it's not new. Like, NXT has found what they want to go for, but they also, at least the vibe I'm getting is, they don't quite have the talents to get there.
Yeah,
because I can definitely feel at this point, if Triple H had the talents that he wanted to fill out the show, every pay-per-view would be home run material.
Mm-hmm. And, but, I think we'll probably get that eventually, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying, like, from what we've seen, and admittedly, I think I would be more critical of the opener if I wasn't such a, Tyler Breeze head, but like I'm a sucker for the himbo archetype. Like, Bo Dallas had my heart, Tyler Breeze has my heart. I'm looking forward to more of them, but I'm excited. What are we going to be doing next week?
So yeah, we have, after this, we have NXT Takeover Unstoppable, which is the final NXT Takeover at Full Sail before they go venture out and start doing arena shows. Now, it's not the final ever NXT Takeover in Full Sail. We'll get 2 more after it, but it is the last one where they are purely a local Florida brand.
Okay.
We have, I think, I don't remember this card straight up. I still am not quite watching live at this time, but I think this card looks very exciting. We have in the opener another number 1 contender match for the NXT Championship, this time between Finn Balor, who, spoiler, his number 1 contendership didn't lead to the title win. But it's going to be Finn Balor versus Tyler Breeze versus Hideo Itami in a triple threat number 1 contenders match. We have 2 women's matches on the show.
Let's go!
First, we have a tag match as Charlotte and Bayley take on Emma and Dana Brooke. Emma's back.
Okay. Welcome back, Emma. I'm excited to see what's been going down.
We have what is perhaps one of the strangest matches in NXT TakeOver history. Baron Corbin taking on Rhino, ECW legend Rhino. Kind of a too cool situation, but Rhino's back. We have, for the NXT Tag Team Championships, Blake and Murphy defending against Enzo and Cass.
All right, yeah, sure, that'll be a match.
At least 2 tag teams. NXT Women's Championship match, Sasha Banks defending against Becky Lynch.
Excited for that.
And your main event, NXT Championship match, champion Kevin Owens takes on Sami Zayn yet again.
Awesome.
That is NXT TakeOver Unstoppable, which we'll have next week. Can't wait to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I guess we'll see you nostalgilings.
Yeah. Oh.
What?
We'll workshop that. Nostalgites. We're just making shitty
makes them
Pokemon names.
We'll see you Nostalgiamons later.
Alright, Nostalgiacs. Until next time.
Nostalgiacs is something.
If you somehow have made it 2.5 hours into this, let us know what you should be called. Thanks so much for listening. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next time for NXT Takeover Unstoppable. See y'all.
See ya.